Okay, so in Mexico, I'm sorry, was I supposed to? Okay. Jessica Melendez, my cultural artifact speech. In Mexico, the indigenous people believe that souls of lost ones travel back and forth from the afterlife to this world. And on the 1st and 2nd of November, it is said that lost souls travel back to visit loved ones. Dia de los Muertos is a day celebrated in many Latin countries that is well known for its artsy representations of the afterlife. And there are many items in an altar that are used in an altar, but one of the most prominent of those items is the calavera. The calavera represents death and rebirth. And the natives, they believed that the Spaniards believed that the natives were mocking. This is bad. Okay. Yeah. So the way that I relate to this object is because my grandmother is from Michoacan, and she would always tell me stories about how U.S. holidays differed from those in Mexico. And she would always describe to me the altars and how beautiful they were, and how they would be decorated with flowers and paintings and even food and pictures and just items that reminded them of those who had passed away. With this, I hope to show you a little more about Calaveras and how the beliefs and traditions have carried on over generations. And I'm going to start off with I'm going to give you a brief history of how this tradition has survived all these generations. So in Mexico, Spaniards visited, and they saw the indigenous people performing what seemed to be a ritual, and they thought that it was sort of like a mockery, and they found it disrespectful and rude because they thought that they were mocking the dead. And the natives actually believed that it wasn't the end of one's life. It was actually the beginning, and was something that, it was like a rebirth in a way. So the Spaniards tried to eradicate this tradition, but failed. So now, on the 1st of November, we have what is known as Dia de los Angelitos, or Dia de los Inocentes, and this day is specifically dedicated to the children who passed away. And Dia de los Muertos is the most well-known one, and that's dedicated to the adults and the elders who have moved on as well. The reason why this the reason why I chose this artifact was because it's the most well-known, and the skull represents death, but I mean, the time we take to make these skulls and to decorate them, and even sometimes people get their faces painted to get into the spirit of the celebration, but the time we take to just celebrate this holiday shows our dedication, respect, and love for the dead. I relate to this object, or to this holiday, because on Dia de los Angelitos and Dia de los Muertos, I usually go to the cemetery to visit my great-grandfather and my cousin. On Dia de los Angelitos, I go to visit my cousin, and she died a year before I was born because she had leukemia, and I never got to meet her. But with this holiday, hearing stories about her and seeing the picture on the grave, it's as if she was never gone. So that's why I understand why, they have this holiday and why they're said to come back. Because in a way, it's like they're there. And as for my great-grandfather, I go to visit him on the 2nd of November. And I remember him. He passed away a while ago. He passed away about 10 years ago. And I still remember him. And yeah, just hearing stories about him and getting to remember him is something that's really special. And I think that that's what this holiday is about. It reunites family. And the calavera is a perfect representation because it shows how this holiday brings us together, and it shows how we respect those who have moved on. By giving you a brief history of how this culture has stood with us, even though the Spaniards tried to get rid of it, and how it's close to me, I hope that I've let you guys learn a little bit more about Dia de los Muertos and about the Calavera in general. And Dia de los Muertos is, like I said, a celebration that has been passed down and that originated in Mexico. It's made its way to California and my family, being celebrated more than 5 generations over. And even bringing in new members into our family, or into my family, while honoring those who lived before me is something that's very special to me and something that fills me with pride and joy. And knowing that this tradition has stood here, even though the Spaniards tried to get rid of it, makes me very proud of my Mexican culture. Thank you for your